let's see what AlienJake and Claudius74 do for their turn 2. So AlienJake plays an event, giving everyone 2 science, and then he's going to use his frugality and rich land to set up a population and a mine, and then get a lab. So he's catching up um, with the rest of us, um, getting the infrastructure that he delayed for the favor of picking up yellows, and he's getting another frugality, which I find interesting because he already has 2 population in the pipeline. I guess it's the only age 1 event in here, the urban growth or age A, and it doesn't need theology because of hanging gardens. Okay, so that makes sense. I think that I might have elected Aristotle to bank that civil action, but taking frugality doesn't make some sense. Next up is Claudius74, and he seeds an event and opens the development of warfare, which is fantastic. I need that for my legion. He increases population. He does get Genghis Han, which probably means that one of the 2 cards he has drawn has a tactic in it, or he's just in it for the points. That's also an option. He's starting work on the Library of Alexandria. He takes theology and he takes urban growth. So that is also a bit interesting. I'm curious why he started working on the library. So he did not use his Hammurabi ability, and he started working on the library. Even though he didn't have any corruption, and building one spot of the library doesn't really help with corruption. The theology, I guess, might make sense. It's a decent happiness solution. I'm just curious on why he didn't invest some more actions on picking some of the more premium cards that were available in the card draw, instead opting for an age A yellow. So moving forward with my turn, I have a warrior waiting, and there's a very strong chance I'm going to use that. It promotes me towards Legion. AlienJake doesn't have a person, so it puts him behind the both of us militarily, and since Claudius has Genghis Han, I suspect that that his military might jump soon. So getting that warrior is an easier choice. The question is, do I want to seed an event? And I'm still contemplating the option of getting Columbus down the line, so I'm going to keep this inhabited territory, and either way I don't really have an edge in settling right now. So I could consider seeding raiders or uncertain borders. So of the events that could come up, 3 events could be fantastic. Trade routes, markets, and crafts. Any of these could allow me to finish my my pyramids this turn, which could be pretty nice, and definitely something to consider. So 3 out of 8 events are pretty good. Looking at the other events, settlement and agriculture, they'll be nice. Agriculture actually sends me into corruption, so it is going to limit the other options I have this turn if agriculture come up. Settlement will be nice. Settlement will allow me to use the Homer ability, as will agriculture. Without agriculture, I cannot use the Homer free ore this turn. So I would say that settlement and agriculture are nice. Looking at some of the others, religion would be pretty bad. I don't have another person to use here. In fact, only Claudius77 has a free person, a free population, and he also has theology, so that will help him a lot and not help me at all. Politics, I think, again, the main beneficiary from this will be Claudius. He hasn't been drawing much because of Hammurabi. And then civil life. Civil life will actually be pretty bad. I cannot use civil life at all. So if that shows up, both Jake and Hammurabi are getting a free civil action. And a quality one at that. I imagine that Jake is going to get a population, and Claudius, he can research theology. He can build a temple. So again, looking at the events, I would say that 3 of them are really good, 2 of them are mediocre, and the other 3 are pretty bad. So giving these odds, I think I'm going to skip sitting an event. The pyramids can wait. I have other things to do. So I'm going to get my warrior. And this turn is going to be entirely about the card row. I don't have corruption. There's no point starting the pyramids. I can't finish them. So it's really about which cards I want to pick. And I think that one very easy choice is getting this irrigation. I do know that I want 3 population on these warriors, and I suspect that I might want to expand my empire with a new building. So I think that irrigation is a pretty easy choice. It also makes seeding this inhabited territory easier if I don't get Columbus. Question is what to do with the other 2 actions. And one option is Michelangelo. Honestly, I don't really see how he helps me right now. I won't get any more points, and it doesn't seem like I'm going to take any additional wonders. I don't have any iron. There's no wonders showing up. So we can focus on resources. Oh, I don't need happiness. I have Homer covering that. It's probable that both B and C's will be gone by my next turn, but there's another theology in the deck, and there's St. Pete's in the deck. So happiness doesn't seem to be an issue. I can focus on resources. And for resources, from my point of view, the 2 options are either getting the other engineering genius or getting these 2 reserves. And from a math perspective, reserves are 4 stones for 4 actions. Engineering genius is 3 stones for 2 actions, so better economy there. Furthermore, if I do take the reserves, this means that engineering genius is gonna sit here at space 4, and AlienJake, he's pretty limited in actions. He has corruption. He has a lot on his mind. It's quite possible he won't take the engineering genius. Also, it helps him the least because Hanging Gardens costs 2 per step, and that might end up with Claudius, which is a pretty negative eventuality. So I think it makes the most sense to get engineering genius, and that's the turn. For the events, I'm going to dump the 2 strength-based events. I'm going to keep the... so actually, do I want to... Do I want to get this on the board? Probably not. It's quite possible I won't have the person to build a warrior next turn, which is a shame. I'm not using the Homer stones at all. And it's still possible that I get something like Hunting Band, not Hunting Band, like Fighting Band that I might go into. So let's wait with that. Yeah, I'm going to discard Raiders and Uncertain Borders. I'm probably going to get Michelangelo, Da Vinci next turn. But if I don't, it's nice to keep this as an option for Columbus, and I might even seed it because I'm going into irrigation. So that's the turn. Interesting. So I did get a plunder, which is a pretty decent event with 1 military action. I can see a situation where a food or settlement, agricultural settlement comes up, and I go into a 3rd warrior and then Legion, and the following turn, AlienJake is going to be pretty wide open. He has some options. He might go into Joan of Arc or Knights, but that seems unlikely given his current infrastructure. Looking at what came up the card row, Saint Pete is here. I might be able to get it. We'll see what happens with the rest of the row. 3 great leaders showing up: Joan of Arc, Frederick Barbarossa, and Da Vinci. So nice options there, and Knights as well, which could be an option as a military attack. Oh, and I completely missed this Monarchy, which also is now available for a pretty cheap price, and I have the science for it. I'm the only one right now that can get it without Revolution, so that might be an option. So let's see what Jake and Claudius do. And until the next turn.